So it seems like everyone's been talking about how AI is going to replace SEO, or how it already has. Well, I've got news for you. It hasn't and it won't. But if you're not using it the way that you should be, then you're probably making life harder for yourself. The question isn't whether to use AI, it's what tasks specifically should you use it for in your SEO strategy. Hey there, everyone. My name is Jake Serota. Welcome back to Authority Builders Ranking Secrets. This is our weekly series where we give you actionable SEO tips and not just run-of-the-mill SEO advice that you find everywhere else on the internet. So if you want real actionable SEO tips, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can stay tuned for more. So today's ranking secret that might really not be a secret at this point, it's that AI is a tool. It is not an SEO strategy. And a lot of people have learned that the hard way over the past year. So the people winning with AI right now aren't automating everything, regardless of what they want you to think with their ads. They're the ones who figured out which parts of SEO benefit from automation and which still require a human brain in order to dominate the competition. So when it comes to SEO, let's talk about some ways that AI actually helps with your processes. The first thing definitely has to be keyword research and topic clustering. AI can take a massive list of keyword and group them by intent or topics in minutes. And if you use real data, then what used to take hours in a spreadsheet is now done blazingly fast. Now, you still need to review the output and you need to fit that keyword research into your content strategy, but this has saved me hours and hours over the past couple of years. The next thing that you might be able to outsource to AI with a good workflow is content briefs and outlines. AI can put together competitor analysis, suggested headings, questions and answers, and even internal links to put in your article. So that's something that you can definitely outsource to AI if you're limited on time. Another tedious task that you can use a good AI workflow in your SEO strategy would be writing meta descriptions and page titles. Writing these manually can be mind-numbing, but AI can generate some for you. You can pick the ones that fit your voice, and you can also feed best practices like length and how to use the keyword whenever you're creating your AI system workflow to generate meta descriptions and titles. Again, you shouldn't just trust that the AI is going to follow best practices. You need to create a good workflow that's going to follow the best practices when it comes to writing meta descriptions or keyword research and topic clustering. If you give bad stuff to the AI, it's going to give bad stuff out. Now, one of the biggest things that I've been doing recently to outsource to AI is basically just summarizing data. If you're a sales and marketing professional and you have massive spreadsheets of maybe lead or customer data, AI can summarize patterns that they're seeing and flag others. This is great if you're trying to maybe find some insights to re-optimize your paid ads campaigns or your email campaigns. This is data that you can use and you can cross-reference it with other SEO data. For example, something that I've done recently is I've used an AI workflow to identify the opportunities of the SEO leads that we have coming in. So I cross-reference the SEO opportunity in Ahrefs with the data that the customer provided us. And that allows us to prioritize which of these leads make sense for our sales team to actually engage with. Now, the last thing that is a little bit more closely related to SEO that I would recommend to use AI for might be first drafts of templated content. Not in-depth, like thought leadership content, but I'm talking about location pages, FAQ sections, product descriptions. You can use those as a first pass in order to give a first draft, but that doesn't mean you should publish exactly what the AI gave you. You need human editing and you need to enrich that content so that it's actually helpful and stands out. A lot of people learned the hard way that using AI to create blanket content like this can actually do more harm than good. So leading into that, let's talk about where AI might fall short and where AI might get you into trouble when it comes to your SEO strategy. And number one, strategy itself. AI can't tell you what keywords to prioritize for your business. It doesn't know your margins, it doesn't know your sales cycle, or what your customer cares about. It can give you data, but it can't make the same calls that you would as a marketing professional. Another thing that I would definitely caution you against using AI for in your SEO workflows is creating quality content for competitive terms without any human review. So if the top results for a specific keyword are all comprehensive lists and guides and studies backed by real examples, then the slop that you generate from AI isn't going to outrank those those thought-provoking pieces. So, like I said, you can use AI as maybe an outline starter, but you need to enrich it with real experience and expertise that people are going to want to read about so that they can trust your brand. Another thing that I would caution on completely outsourcing to AI when it comes to SEO is link building. There's not a lot of AI shortcuts here because real link building is building relationships, finding relevant websites, and crafting outreach that doesn't sound like spam. So that's real human work. And AI powered link building oftentimes is just the same sites being resold and doesn't really add any value to your link profile. Now, the final thing that I would caution you on outsourcing to AI would be final quality control in anything that you're doing with SEO. We need to keep in mind that AI hallucinates. It makes things up and it confidently makes things up. It insists that it's right even when you call it out and it's not. Now, if you're publishing content without any human review and you publish something that's unreliable, that's going to do damage to your brand. So, if you want to connect a real tool to your AI, to whatever you're using, whether it be Claude or ChatGPT, I'd recommend to use Ahrefs MCP so that you can actually pull real data. Because again, I've seen tons of SEO reports from ChatGPT that completely hallucinate search volume. And there's no quicker way to destroy your credibility than by doing things like that. All right, so we talked about some mistakes and some recommendations on which things to actually outsource to AI, but let's talk about a simple framework when it comes to outsourcing your SEO tasks to AI. Use AI to compress research and analysis time, data gathering, pattern recognition. That's the grunt work that you want AI to be doing. But your real humans, your real brain power, that's who needs to continue to do the strategy, planning, and actual execution. Deciding what pages to build, what questions to answer, what keywords to target, how to allocate resources, that is up to you. Now, AI can't replace that. Now, maybe you can train a good system based on data so that it eventually will replace that. But until you're at that point, don't be so eager to outsource everything to AI. Be more calculated in how you do that. But I want you to keep in mind, if you're still using AI without any human review to rank or to try to rank for high stakes competitive terms, well, that's how you end up with a site full of mediocre AI content. And like I said, a lot of people have learned the hard way through Google's helpful content updates that completely outsourcing that content to AI is going to do way more harm than good. You need to be calculated and not be lazy. So again, quick recap here. The biggest mistake that you can do if you're using AI for any SEO task would be completely publishing AI content without any human editing. Raw AI output reads like raw AI output. Readers notice and Google notices as well. So second mistake would be using AI for tasks that require critical thinking and actual decision making. AI can scale what you know, but it doesn't replace the knowledge that you actually have firsthand. And the third mistake would be over automating and losing that human touch because AI tends to hallucinate when it comes to things like search volume metrics. SEO still involves relationships, especially if you're doing link building and creating content with teams. So if you want help figuring out where AI can specifically fit into your SEO workflow and where we can actually help when it comes to your SEO strategy, we do offer free AI readiness audits to see where your brand is showing up in LLMs and in Google search. So you can book a call with one of our team members using the link below, and we'd be happy to talk about how we can help. All right, that just about does it for this week's episode of Ranking Secrets from Authority Builders. So make sure you go ahead and drop a comment. Tell me one SEO task that you've outsourced to AI and seen a lot of success with, or maybe tell me something that you didn't see success with and you weren't able to outsource to AI. So make sure to like, subscribe, and keep building that real authority. And I'll see you next week. Cheers.